Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. My voice is starting to come back a little bit more. Shit, I've got fucking tea bagging. Sorry, I'm actually making a cup of tea for myself, which is a very rare occurrence for me. But as usual, I fucked it up and didn't put fucking tea bag in. How can you have a cup of tea, good old brew without a tea bag in it? So yeah, the reason for this is I want to ask you a few things, and obviously you have the ability, even if it is just for the two people that were watching, please let me know what you think on these points. I'll stop and let you, put a comment in and say, do you believe that bombing another country will bring us peace? Yeah, I'll give you a few minutes to type into the box. I've got to try and figure out how to make this cup of tea, so that's at least going to take me 2 minutes. Anybody? No? Well, no, it's not going to bring us peace. For all these people, and don't get me wrong, you are all entitled to your opinion, and I think you should all do pretty much the same thing as what I'm doing, to be perfectly honest with you. Look okay? See, I haven't even found out if the milk's alright. Bombing will end humanity, mate. Yes, depends on what country. Thank you for your answer, Luke, but no country deserves to be bombed. Because I just want to try something, say something, as shutting me up is usually the trick. To all these people that are like, yes, we're with ISIS, Daesh, whatever you want to call them this week, they're in these, eastern countries, we should bomb them, that'll stop them coming here and doing that. Do you not then think that would radicalise the ones that are already all over the planet? To say that it's your religion that's being targeted, because it's not. When Daesh and that come here, they're not bombing us because they hate our religion. Do any of you guys actually know why they're bombing us? I don't know, because I don't have conversations with them on Skype or something, but I can kind of guess. If a minority came here and started blowing shit up here, on the Scottish soil that I live in, yeah, I could see a few people getting pissed off and banding together and trying to get some weapons and fighting back. Anybody fucking would. So what is the difference between it happening here on your soil and happening there on their soil? Nothing. You've got our government and pretty much every other government minus Israel and Saudi Arabia and that, condemning pretty much what ISIS are doing, but they're not doing anything. You've got all these people there that are saying, we need to use our politics to solve this. Politics is what got us in this fucking problem. You want to use politics to get us out. It's not going to happen. These people in power don't want to stop war. There is no money in peace. If anything is proven from that statement there, they want to talk about if they're going to stop selling weapons to Saudi Arabia, even though we know that Saudi Arabia have been using them bombs we've sold them in Yemen. Yet people will piss and whinge about the atrocities that are happening in Yemen, but when you turn around and say it was us that sold them the fucking bombs, yeah. See, maybe you should go, let's not bomb other countries. No, not target countries that our government are saying are enemies, because there is no one in Syria that's my enemy. There's no one in, Israel that's my enemy. The only enemies are these people at the top. These are the people that make life and death decisions for our brothers and sisters, and then we all sit behind the television set and root it. It's like when the Americans raised that, lovely fucking blue, white and red flag, and everybody feels all joyous. It's a piece of fucking cloth. It's the same as the English flag. Do you know how much blood has been spilt because of that flag? Yet you're pissing and whinging because Daesh are killing people. It's funny when it's us that are doing the killing. That's perfectly fine. But when it's another minority doing it against us, that's a problem. Because we are not classed as infidels, and we are not the same religion as them. What has religion got to do with fuck all? If I shoot you, you're going to bleed. If you shoot me, I'm going to bleed. That's what it should be. We should have risen our consciousness beyond these boundaries of religions and borders and colours and creeds. You know, the only way we're going to move forward is to drop these fucking labels. For example, less than, 10 years ago, being gay, you'd get fucking, rates of abuse for. Perfectly fine now. Transgenders, it's becoming perfectly fine now. So why can't we raise our own consciousness above borders, colours, creeds, religions? All your religions are fucking wrong. When you die, you go in the ground and you turn into maggot food. That's what you turn into. That's what the physical vessel does. What happens in here should stay in here. If your beliefs are the same as the next person's, that's fine. But your beliefs should not encourage or endorse violence against anybody else. And that's what religions do. Is there a religion that doesn't? I even think, when there's bang on the point as usual, nice one, mate. James, I'm just trying to balance out. I've been watching people's Facebook videos, YouTube videos that have happened in the last couple of hours where they've been saying about, fuck the refugees, or all this, that and the other, and fucking people in power are now going to be anti-UKIP and all this shit. Get your heads away from politics and start thinking, what would you want? What do you want for yourself? Do you want, in 5 years, for your children to have to put on camo and have to go fight? Have to. Not want to, because at the moment, that's pretty much what it's at. Want to. Go over there and bomb them. They're not here. When they're here, they're not going to understand you people pissing and whinging that you want something to be done about it. But they're not here. Because if they were here, Theresa May would not be here. If it was in America, I bet you the ones that happen in America, you find Barack Obama down the other side of the fucking country, or not even in the country. These are the people that make the bullshit policies to fucking go over to another country and bring them freedom. They had freedom before you started. And then there's these people who are going to perk up and go, because of 9/11. 15 years down the line and we still don't know the fucking truth. So let's not use that one as a reason to invade somebody else's country. Muslims, Daesh and that. If somebody bombs your country and you fight back, you become a terrorist. But if them invaders didn't turn up, you wouldn't be a terrorist. You wouldn't need to fight. The only reason that Syria looks the way that it fucking does is because the Russians have got big fucking bombs, the British have got big fucking bombs, the Israelis have got big fucking bombs, and so, that's the problem. It's got nothing to do with the people. Have you seen, when you watch the news and you see, 5 or 6 guys there with rocket launchers and shit, have you seen anybody that they're shot? Now, because the videos I'm seeing are people shooting around fucking corners and shit. If you want to solve this problem, you want to use military force, because that's what we do. We're pretty good at fucking enslaving our own people. Then go and do it. Stop pissing and whinging about it. All these people that having this mindset that they hate Muslims and they hate refugees. And, I've seen so many refugee children. It's unbelievable. And they're not wanting for nothing. Do you know what I'm saying? They're not asking for anything. I don't know how the whole setup, not to mention the Saudi Arabia is funding Syria. Okay, I don't know what to make of that one, John. Not to mention that the Saudi Arabia is funding Syria. No, I was under the impression that the Saudis were funding ISIS, or the British brand ISIS. It's like Kellogg's. Do you know what I'm saying? You got Kellogg's cereal. That don't just mean it's one cereal. It means it's quite a fucking few. The Americans, the CIA, documented to have their hands, their dirty little fingers, some stuff the news don't show. So yeah, same as me, John. There's a guy on YouTube that's called JBossman008. He does a video called The End of Times. It's a daily video thing. It does have some Christian stuff in it. you know, because I believe the guy is a Christian, which is cool, you know, each to their own. But he has some, you know, bits and pieces that I don't see on the news, you know, with having the internet and mainstream, you know, not having mainstream media as the only news source, we're starting to crack open a few eggs, which is good. But we are starting to see the same bullshit coming through, you know. If I don't shoot you, you're not going to want to shoot me. If I don't invade your country, you shouldn't want to invade my country. Do you know what I'm saying? You know, how are you forcing your will upon people with force? No wonder they want to fight back. One man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter. People keep saying that to me all the time, and that's brilliant. But I don't think that if you have to use violence to get your religious views, political views, or anything else across, your point is null and void. No, I don't need to listen to your thing. No, I don't use force. I use my voice. The pen is mightier than the sword. Thank you, brother. They've been much appreciated. But yeah, I've seen all these people that, don't get me wrong, that you're all entitled to your opinions, and I wouldn't ever stop you from voicing them. I really wouldn't. You know, if anything, I'd encourage you to, you know, use the technology that this empire has brought upon us and get your voice out there, get to be known, group together. You know, I have many people that agree with me on my Syrian views, my George Soros, Hillary Clinton, the Queen being a lizard, you know, different views. But they don't agree on everything, and I don't want you to all agree on everything, otherwise this would be a boring existence that we would call life. But we need to stop with this whole hatred shit. You know, you'd be in the same boat if it happened to you, yeah? You know, if I busted in your door and killed your whole family, you're gonna want vengeance as well. As much as I'm peace and love, you know, there comes a point when, you know, you've got to leave that behind and become the next, you know, evolutional jump. You know, I need to be a better person for my children and for the next generation. You know, I'm not going to endorse fuck the Muslims, fuck the Syrians, fuck the refugees, because that's not how I feel. If that's how you feel, that's fine. But please, don't jump down the mainstream, you know, rabbit hole and not look at shit yourself, because these people at the top are there to look after themselves. You know, I see a sad the other day on camera, first time I've seen a sad since this whole fucking shitstorm started. Yeah, he was smiling, you know, walking through a park with fucking palm trees and shit. You know, and then on the next bit you've got, oh, and the Syrian government's doing it. Well, you know, how do you know? How do you know that what you're seeing on that squiggle box is exactly what's fucking happening? You have to look at it yourself. You can't take what the public is telling you. You can't take what I'm telling you as truth. You need to see it for yourself. There are many of you out there that do see it for yourself, and I encourage you to do more, because, you know, they're not going to stop. This isn't going to stop until we use the only thing that we have, our voices. Because force against them is nothing. 5th of November protests that I've seen, where all they have done is use their voices, and they get battered. You see the Tatona pipeline, you know, protesters, the water protectors, getting beaten up and attacked by dogs. Do you know what I'm saying? Sooner or later, there will be lines drawn. And don't be fooled to be on one side or the other. Be in the middle. Keep yourself neutral to all of this. Because at the end of the day, until the day comes where we can stop it, you are just feeding one side or the other. So as usual, guys, do with the information as you will. Carry on thinking I'm a crackpot and shit, because I think I'm fucking crazy. I'm crazy when I step out the door and I see a world where blood's in the street, water and food is a commodity that is hoarded by the few and is not given to the many. This is what I know is the USA and Iran and Iraq are financing. Because I was always under the impression that the Americans and the Saudis are, because I've seen documents to prove that. I would say Turkey is, but I'm not saying that Turkey's high government, you know, that whole coup shit was just a distraction tactic, to be perfectly honest. I'm going to sign off because I've got, you know, this cup of tea to drink. I actually finally made. Look, cup of tea. So I'm going to enjoy this, try and chill the fuck out, mellow out, try and get back to my core, my serenity, and as usual, guys, peace and love.